Well, some new information today on a major mob bust in New York City. Federal authorities rounding up some 46 mafia suspects, including a reputed mob boss, nabbing associates from 4 out of the 5 New York City crime families. A major blow to the East Coast crime syndicate, or so they say. Fred Tisi is a former federal prosecutor. David Pietro, a trial attorney and former prosecutor as well. Thanks, guys, for being here.
Good morning.
Thanks for having me.
Fred, I'm sure in your career you've seen major mob busts before. Very often the feds, make a big roundup like this, but it doesn't end up going very far.
Well, it does and it doesn't. I mean, from my perspective, John, the interesting part to me, because I'm from Philadelphia, is that this guy, Joey Merlino, Skinny Joey, was one of the guys that got indicted. But the indictment reads like a Martin Scorsese movie, which means that Danny DeVito will play me in the movie. It's interesting because it has all the kind of the old-time mob stuff about breaking people's knees and beating them up with a baseball bat and a pipe, but it also includes kind of credit card fraud and, using facial cream.
Yeah.
So we'll see where it goes.
David, a lot of people think the old-style mafia just sort of went away, got busted, out of existence. But this indictment would suggest that it is still very much alive in places like New York City and Philadelphia.
Like Fred said, just reading that indictment, the first 2 pages of it have so many AKAs like the Rooster and Joey the Wig, you would think you were reading a Mario Puzo novel. If you read that and those allegations are true, you read that indictment and you believe it. The old-style Italian mafia 5 family stories that we've come to sort of love in our entertainment field, but after The Sopranos and other great movies like The Godfather, it's live and well, and it hasn't died down. So I'm not surprised that it hasn't, and it's interesting to see how law enforcement's still going after the classic style Italian La Cosa Nostra mob crime rings.
The question, Fred, is supporting witnesses. In this case, they have wiretaps and some recordings that seem to suggest, but also some of the implicating statements are almost spoken in code. How does a prosecutor deal with that in front of a jury?
Well, there's a bunch of different ways. First of all, you don't put on a cooperating witness, or what we would call a dirty witness, unless you have 2 witnesses to say about something about one thing, and you have corroborating evidence in the way of wiretaps or computer records or phone records. And then, you tell the jury, these people speak in a code, and we're going to put a mob guy on the witness stand to tell you what it's like. I mean, you want to know what plumbing's all about, you put a plumber on the witness stand. You want to know what being a carpenter's all about, you put a carpenter on. You want to know about the mob, you put a mob guy on to tell you what it's all about. So, that's how that'll play out.
One of those arrested or indicted was Patsy Perello, identified as a member of the Genovese crime family in New York. Supposedly, the indictment says he ordered a couple of his guys to beat up a panhandler who was sitting outside his restaurant and basically scaring patrons away. One of the cohorts recorded saying, "Remember the old days in the neighborhood when we used to play baseball? A ball game like that was done," referring to the beating that they gave this guy. David, what would you assess the Fed's chances is of winning convictions here? Well,
the Fed's got a couple things going for them. They have an undercover agent that actually infiltrated this criminal enterprise, as well as they're going to have confidential informants, or as they state in the movies, the rats. And they also have other wiretaps and different evidentiary tactics that they're going to use. It looks like the indictment's strong. It's a multi-year, multi-jurisdictional investigation. It wasn't haphazardly put together.
We'll see if they can make it stick. David Pietro and Fred Tisi, thank you both.
Thank you
for having me. Enjoy your weekend.
We'll be right back.